First edition. We've all had times when we're thinking about something constantly. It could be a new song that you can't get out of your head, or a worry that you forgot to lock the front door. Maybe you have lucky lottery numbers, or a shirt that you wear when your favorite team is playing a big game. Well, repetitive thoughts, worries, and rituals have a place in all of our lives, but when they begin to impact our everyday, it could be a sign of something more serious, like OCD, or obsessive compulsive disorder. Now, this is OCD Week, and joining me to tell us more about it is clinical child psychologist Dr. Janine Hubbard. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thanks for having me.
So first off, what is OCD?
Okay, at its most basic, break down the words. It's obsessions, which are recurrent, unwanted, pervasive thoughts, images, impulses. And then it's compulsions, actions or thoughts that we do to try to relieve the anxiety caused by the obsessions. And put together becomes obsessive compulsive disorder. Now, there are all things that we do, as you sort of said, on a regular basis that have features of it. However, in something like OCD, it's to a point where it is pervasive and it interferes, and people know that the things that they are worried about are likely excessive and likely unrealistic, but it doesn't stop them from being any more powerful.
What are some of the biggest misconceptions about OCD?
Well, there's this joke that, well, of course, we all have a little bit of OCD, right? And on one level, the very basic anxiety and where a lot of them start is really common. The fear, did I lock the front door? Did I forget to turn off the iron? Those are very appropriate fears. The difference is the degree in which we address it and the degree of distress that it causes. So you or I, we might detour, be 5 minutes late for work because we've gone back and we've checked that door, we've checked that iron, and then we've moved on. However, for someone with OCD, checking it once isn't enough. It could start that they have to go back and circle the block and check it 2 or 3 times. And eventually, in really severe cases, that could be they're spending hours doing that repetitive behavior because they can't convince themselves that, yes, it was done and yes, it's okay. One of the big features that comes in are what we call intrusive thoughts, or when I'm dealing with kids, we call them sticky thoughts. These thoughts that just get in your brain and you just can't shake them. And you try to do all these different rituals or behaviors or actions to try to make them go away or try to make them reduce how strong they are.
How common is OCD?
It's about 1 to 2% of the population. And what we see is it tends to occur or first emerge in childhood, typically in kind of the tween area, sort of 8 to 12. And then again in late adolescence, early adulthood, but it is a lifelong and pervasive disorder that ebbs and flows during different points in your life, depending on periods of stress.
So it's not, you know, some people might say, listen, you've checked the iron twice now, enough is enough.
Don't be so foolish, right?
Right, don't be so foolish.
And here's the thing, trying to use logic with an anxiety disorder is completely counterintuitive because anxiety and logic just beat each other up. And that's one of the things that's so hard for people to understand and why they often don't talk about it, because it is dismissed. Or the other thing that keeps it a secret for a lot of people is many of the intrusive thoughts are fears of self-harm or fears of harming others, or they often involve really violent or upsetting imagery, and they're afraid to tell anybody because they know that they're not going to act on any of those things or do any of those things, but they're concerned that others might think they will. And it's really distressing to kind of talk about, because there is that concern of, are people going to think I'm kind of crazy? What's going on here? And so it stays secret and hidden for a long time in many people.
So if somebody is watching tonight and they think they or maybe somebody they know has OCD, where can they turn for help?
It's important to reach out. Worst case scenario is you talk to somebody and they say, no, you're okay. You've got some mild concerns, but it's not full-blown OCD. Talk to your family physician. APNL.ca has a listing of psychologists who are well-versed in both diagnosing and treating OCD.
Well, Dr. Janine Hubbard, it is so much fun having you in to shed some light on all of these issues and hopefully help a whole lot of people. Thank you so much.
Anytime. Thanks again.